It's the kind of secret that sounds like it was torn from the pages of an ancient thriller. Whispered rumors of hidden catacombs, long sealed beneath the heart of Vatican City, chambers that few knew about, and fewer still dared to enter. For centuries, the legends swirled just beyond the light, dismissed by many as myth, conspiracy, or exaggeration. But now, the veil has lifted, and what was once just shadowed rumor has become chilling reality, because somewhere, buried beneath layers of time, stone, and silence, are catacombs so mysterious, so protected, and so intentionally hidden that even Pope Francis himself once swore they would never see the light of day. And yet, now they have. This isn't about the public catacombs that tourists stroll through with flashlights and guidebooks. This isn't about the well-documented Christian burial sites or the mosaics that line the walls with the stories of early martyrs. No, what has been exposed is something far older, far stranger, and far more disturbing. Let's rewind. It began with an anonymous Vatican insider, a man who claimed to have worked for over 3 decades in the lower levels of the Apostolic Palace. In a recorded testimony, muffled and crackling with interference, he described a space beneath the archives, deeper than the catacombs listed on any map, hidden behind sealed gates that required not just keys, but multiple levels of clearance and ancient authorization rights. He called it simply the sanctum. According to him, the entrance wasn't even visible unless you knew exactly what to look for. A faint imprint in the marble, marked not with Latin, but with an almost prehistoric symbol. 2 intersecting circles surrounding an inverted cross, etched so faintly that it blended with the veins of the stone. "Press it," he said, and a small panel would shift. Behind that, stairs, winding, narrow, carved by hand, leading down, far below the level of even the oldest maps of the Vatican's foundations. When asked why it was kept secret, his response was bone-chilling. Because it was never meant to be found. Not by the public, not by scholars, not by anyone. So, what's down there? That's where things become even more unsettling. When the hidden catacombs were first revealed, or more accurately, when their existence was leaked to a handful of rogue Vatican archivists, the world above remained unaware. But inside the Vatican, a quiet frenzy began. The area was reportedly sealed again within days, the records scrubbed, the personnel reassigned, but not before a few took notes. Inside the sanctum, they claim, were chambers unlike any found in traditional catacombs. No orderly rows of burial shelves, no murals of saints and angels. Instead, crude carvings, unfinished statues, walls covered not in scripture, but in symbols. Symbols no one could trace. The figures were misshapen. Some appeared to be human, but distorted. Others were animalistic, hybrid, grotesque, as if drawn from nightmares or visions no one dared explain. In the largest chamber was a circle of stone seats, facing inward, and at the center, a raised stone table. One scholar, who saw a series of now confiscated photographs, called it a site of ritual, not remembrance. Another simply whispered, "That's not Christian." Here's where the controversy explodes. Because Pope Francis, known for his progressive views, his humanitarian heart, and his openness to dialogue, had once spoken briefly in an off-the-record gathering of theologians about certain things buried beneath the roots of the Church that are best left undisturbed. At the time, no one paid much attention. It sounded metaphorical, poetic even. But what if it wasn't? What if Pope Francis knew about the sanctum? What if he had seen what was down there? According to unverified reports from within the Vatican's inner circle, Pope Francis did, in fact, descend into the sanctum once, early in his papacy. One source, a former Swiss guard who has since disappeared from public view, claimed that the Pope entered the hidden chamber flanked by only 3 individuals: a Vatican archaeologist, a cardinal with historical expertise, and an unnamed interpreter of ancient languages. They were inside for nearly 3 hours. When they emerged, the Pope was visibly pale, shaken, quiet, and from that moment forward, he never spoke of it again. Until recently, in a letter uncovered by investigators, dated only with the words Anno Misericordiae, the Year of Mercy, 2016, Pope Francis alluded to a place beneath us that was never sanctified, only hidden. He continued, "There are truths we inherit that are not of Christ, but of fear. And fear, when buried, grows teeth." Many believe this was a veiled reference to the sanctum. So the question becomes, what was the Church afraid of? Historians are now split into camps. Some believe the hidden catacombs were a pre-Christian site of ritual, absorbed into the Vatican's geography during the early centuries, when Christianity was still adapting to survive. Others suggest it may have been a place used during the darkest periods of the Church's history, a chamber for secrets, for silencing heretics, or for carrying out punishments long erased from official memory. But the most controversial theory? That the sanctum predates the Church entirely, that it was a remnant of something far older, a forgotten belief system buried not just physically, but theologically, a system that early Church leaders feared and hid, but could not destroy. If that's true, then the implications are massive, because it means that beneath the very seat of the Catholic Church lies a truth the world was never supposed to see. A contradiction so powerful it could shake the foundations of faith, doctrine, and history. And if Pope Francis swore to keep it secret, it wasn't to protect himself, but to protect the world from something it wasn't ready to face. But the secret's out now. The photographs, though quickly scrubbed from the internet, have already spread across encrypted forums, shared in fragments, debated by theologians and truth-seekers alike. The Vatican has yet to issue an official statement, choosing instead to reinforce its silence with tighter security, increased denials, and a firm clampdown on internal leaks. But the truth is no longer contained. Something is down there, something ancient, something hidden for a reason. And as more whistleblowers emerge, the question isn't just what's in the catacombs, but why now? Why is this truth emerging at this moment in time? Amid global upheaval, rising questions of identity, belief, and power. Was Pope Francis trying to delay a reckoning? Or was he buying time to prepare humanity for something it had long forgotten? One thing is certain. The Vatican has always been a place of mystery, but this goes beyond secret archives or lost scrolls. This is about the soil beneath the Church itself. And as the world begins to piece together the fragments of this hidden history, the sanctum, the symbols, the whispers from below, we may find that the greatest revelations aren't written in holy books, but carved in stone, buried in silence, and waiting to be uncovered. Now that the door has been opened, the real question is, can it ever be closed again? Thanks for watching this video. If you enjoyed, make sure to leave a like and subscribe with notifications to never miss a video.